Ah, they're together. Nice. Okay, perfect. We were okay. Where is she? Nice. So it's our pleasure to introduce the talk from Mint Base. We are very happy to have made this collaboration with Mintbase.io and also the developments that came out of it with you. So I think I would just start by just to them. Nate and Caro. We cannot really hear you.
You're still muted.
Yep, there we go. All right.
Okay, perfect.
Hello.
Hi.
Wow, Interspace has really evolved since the first one we were at like a month ago. It's incredible. So is it when you talk?
First, you have to tell everybody. You have to tell everybody where you are.
Yeah, we are in beautiful Los Angeles. So is it when you talk, do you take over the whole screen or how does it work?
Yeah, you take over the whole screen.
And you can just do like the tile thing with the 4 little squares at the bottom.
Ah.
And share your screen with a little share next to the hand.
Got it. See it. Okay, perfect. All right, so just
too advanced. Come on.
Yeah, we are in beautiful Los Angeles. So we got a nice little view. We got stuck here. We've been trying to get back to Berlin for the last, let's say, month and a half. Our flights keep getting canceled, so we'll get there eventually. In fact, this morning my flight got canceled yet again. So after this, I'll be booking.
So yeah, we are from Interspace. I'm Caro. This is Nate.
Yeah.
And so we are very happy to be working together with ETHTurin as well. We provided the NFT tickets, and we are NFT ticketing, but also allocation tool. So today we're going to show you who we are, just a little bit of our backgrounds, and then go into how to create your first NFT.
Yeah. Are there any developers on the call that are hacking at the hackathon? Is this EN1 just us?
There are some people watching the live stream as well. So like people passively, but
Got it.
Great. Okay.
And then we've got the full hour, right?
Nice. Okay.
All right.
So the talk is being recorded, so it's also valid for later.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so just to kind of go over the what we are, why NFTs matter, and why we're really going to be pushing the edge of collectability and getting past this like phase of collectability. So it's not we're interested in collectability, but I think these NFTs can do so much more, and we're just getting started. Sort of the hard part is just getting the token management and minting and holding figured out, and once we're past that. Then it starts going into, all right, let's start building a utility out of them. So just to kind of go into who we are, what is a digital asset, why we know a lot about digital assets, and where we're at. So to kind of go into why we built this thing, my background was working with Nike. I pushed them to completely overhaul Nike ID. It's a way to basically build a shoe from the ground up and customize the shoe. So you can put your name on it, you can colorize different sections, and then they send it to you. So another company I worked with was a company called Bumped, where basically you swipe your debit or credit card at Starbucks and we'll give you fractional shares of publicly traded stock as a reward. So you go to Starbucks, we'll give you 0.0021 shares of Starbucks stock, go to Best Buy, pay your electric bill. Basically, your rewards are actual shares of stock. And so what Mintbase is kind of a mush between these two things. It's allowing people to do something extremely complicated in a nice, beautiful visual way, and also dealing with digital assets and complicated sales stuff. So I ended up winning the DevCon 4 hackathon in Prague. That was a year and a half ago, and everyone told me, so you should go to Berlin. That's the the spot where everyone's building. That's also where I met Kago.
So I used to work at German Parliament, and I wrote speeches about blockchain technology. And at one of the events, I met Nate, and then I transitioned from Parliament to Mintbase last year in June. And before that, I worked in festival ticketing. So this is why also it's good at the moment that we focus on ticketing. Yeah.
And then, so just to kind of explain digital assets, I always claim that digital assets don't really exist with Web 2.0 without blockchain. If you look at the definition, a digital asset is considered anything to be tangible or intangible, producing value that can be owned or controlled. The latter is kind of the more complicated part with how we're dealing with assets. If we look at Facebook stocks, shares of stocks, you don't really control it. You don't really own it. You have to deal with a broker dealer like Robinhood just to manage your shares, and then Robinhood deals with a clearing firm, which is just basically a trusted database like Apex Clearing, and then the Apex Clearing deals with several companies behind the scenes to move these shares of stock around. We're now moving into a new world where you get to choose which wallet you want, and you get to move it around to whichever friends or exchange you want. So at the core of what we're building, we really focus on, we want to allow our users to choose whatever wallet they want to not only mint, but to move their tokens around. So hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to stop talking about shares of stock. Yeah, cool. We're going to stop talking about shares of stock now. We have nothing to do with shares of stock. We're going to start talking about more tickets. So if you kind of look at what are we, we're positioning ourselves as becoming the Amazon for digital assets. We allow anyone to come onto our platform, create their own store. Each store is an independently deployed and verified smart contract owned by the person who deployed it. And then they get to claim and mint what these tokens actually do. We're focusing on tickets because it just makes a ton of sense. We're getting to that phase where we're done talking about DeFi and cryptocurrencies, and now we're getting more to the point of let's actually use these things.
And the beautiful thing about tickets is, I mean, if you think about Eventbrite, Ticketmaster at the moment, you need an Eventbrite app to buy a ticket and to store the ticket, or you get the ticket sent to you via email. This is like so annoying. When I type in Eventbrite and I'm going to a festival or something, and then I have like hundreds of emails from Eventbrite. So I don't get to choose where I want to store my ticket. But with us, like our customers can store it on any wallet, like on Coinbase wallet, Trust wallet, or Argent, or anywhere. And the beautiful thing is that the ticket is not just a ticket. So like with you guys, I mean, it gives you access to the conference. You have voting rights. You can vote, and it's much more than a ticket. And yeah, it's really beautiful to see where this is gonna head.
Yeah, and a big thing to note too, interrupt us anytime. We got an hour, so just be like, hey, stop, I want to chat about this or do that. We're gonna jump into an actual demo and show you how that, not a demo, this is the real deal.
So a little workshop where everyone can also reproduce what we're doing, how to create an NFT. And,
yeah, so good. Cool. So this is way outdated. We are cranking. So 465 stores. We actually now have. Let's go into. Nope, that's not the one. Interesting.
I can't hear anything. Is it just me or?
No, I think we lost you, Nate, or it's frozen with the screen. Sometimes the screen sharing does freeze.
You're muted. You're muted, Nate.
All right, we are back in action again.
Sorry.
Problem?
All right, so let's actually get into looking into what the thing does. So right now I'm going to go on to rinkeby.mintbase.io.
All right. Okay. Do we do the same?
Go ahead.
Do we do the same? Or do we just watch what you're doing?
No, you can also go on rinkeby.mintbase.io. We
Definitely.
can do it simultaneously.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, and anything we do on rinkeby.mintbase.io can be done on mintbase.io. It's the exact same code, just taps into different networks. So
Yeah. One test.
and the other big thing to note is anything we do with our interface can be done via code. So we utilize the graph extensively. Basically, all token data comes directly from the graph. And you can also hook into any of these smart contracts via Etherscan and interact with them directly. So to get started, you can join with Fortmatic, Coinbase Wallet, Wallet Connect, MetaMask. I'm going to join with MetaMask.
Okay.
So you do the same?
Yep.
So for you, your screen's going to be a little bit different. What you're going to end up seeing is probably a create store button, correct?
Somebody will need to feedback because my computer is running a bit slow. My internet is a bit slow.
Okay. So yeah, when you as soon as you land, you'll have something that says create store. I've already created all my stores. I have lots of stores. So what you're going to want to do is deploy your own store. And what this is kind of your token foundation. So this is your own deployed smart contract. We'll call this, and just to look around at some of the other stores, what we have, if I go into maybe our full node store,
Right.
we can see all the different non-fungible tokens. They're beautifully stacked. If we go into DevCon 6, we can see that we're pitching them to see if we can get ticketings done through this. So the goal is to not just have a ticket that gets you into the store, but to also get you a bunch of different items as well. But let's go ahead and create a new store from scratch. So you give it a TTT. So the name of your store, this is what you can do to search on Etherscan, and then the token symbol, just like the ticker of if you're deploying your company to the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So once we go here, we confirm. So neat, pending. We're creating our store. And what's your name there? That's on here. That's interacting. Is that Jason?
Jason.
Jason.
Were you able to deploy a store?
Okay. So I'm gonna click create store. Connect my MetaMask wallet. I would say that don't wait up for me. Okay. Just continue with the demo.
Sounds good. So we just created a store. We have time to mint your NFTs. We have nothing on here. You can see it got added to our drop-down list, ETHTurin. What's really nice about this is our smart contract. If I want to, I can then hook this in with any other website and start interacting with this. So even if you want to do your own mints and manage your tokens on a different system, I would suggest coming in here, minting and creating your smart contract, and then interacting from here. But let's go ahead and mint. Maybe I'll go into. Let's mint a nice token. Come in here. Let's go into.
Oh, that's a cool way.
Yeah, we'll do. So very full from the source.
I hope you like my new landing page for the live event.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
All right, so we're gonna come in here. We're going to select, edit, copy. New, let's go 600, tab 600.
It would be great if you could talk about like the use case, like I mean, not now like specifically, but like during your demo on like what type of things people have been mostly minting. You know, if it's tickets or just art or collectibles. Like if you have any stats,
So
that would be super interesting.
Definitely. So
I would like to know that as well.
yeah, so at the moment, like the majority of our customers are artists. So we have many artists who are doing crypto art, which is a completely new field. They're tokenizing their art on our platform. But we also have like conferences, minting tickets on our platform. We also have people who have been trying to create dinner vouchers, especially at the moment with COVID-19. Like, for example, if you're a restaurant and you don't have any constant revenue income, you can create those reduced vouchers and sell them. And then when the restaurant reopens, the customers can get a meal. So it's like really creative what people have been doing on Mintbase. But at the moment, it's it's a lot of art. We are also looking into tokenizing like music, but this will be another thing next week. But yeah.
Yeah. So you can see we're minting the token. You get a bunch of different options. We'll see what this looks like on OpenSea. So we can add custom fields. We can add a YouTube video. If we put in a YouTube video, that'll play on OpenSea directly. We can set the price, how much this token is worth. We can set whether it's for sale or not.
So what Nate means with, you can see it on OpenSea as well, is every time you mint a token on our platform, it automatically gets listed on OpenSea behind the scenes. So you don't need to do anything. It's like automatically appearing on OpenSea.
So we just hit mint, and now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wait for that to happen. But you can do other things right now. We don't hold the user up to do other actions. But as soon as that confirms on the chain, the token should just magically appear. Boom, boom, boom.
Can I ask like 3 questions? All right. So the first question I'd like to ask is, this looks quite like proof of attendance protocol. Okay, how is can I ask what's the difference between the two?
Yeah, sure.
Does the proof of attendance protocol, do they have a minter?
So I run events, and lately I've been running virtual events. So what I do is that I go to the POAP, and then I basically put in the visual artwork, that I want, and I would put in my request. I'd like to print 20 of these to give out to attendees, right? And then they will do it for me, and that's it.
So that's the big difference. This is yours. So you're interacting directly with MetaMask. You get your own deployed smart contract. Anytime someone buys this, your money automatically goes directly into your system.
Right. I get to, okay, so that's one of the biggest differences. I'm actually minting my own tickets, and I can also sell the tickets as well.
Exactly. And you can transfer them to whoever you want. You can use ENS or your 0x address. You can send this token up. So we just minted this guy, right? We can send this into our chat. So you guys can grab this if you want. Where is this? So if I send this to you, is there a chat in here?
There's no chat in here, unfortunately.
Okay, no worries. We can send it to you later.
Yeah. Okay. So now we just minted this guy, right? But what's quite fascinating too is if we go into brinkabee.opensea.io, go into my items, and immediately we see the ETHTurin tokens popping up. I think that's kind of a big moment for a lot of people, is that you don't have to send a token from one place to another, but you just get it within your own system.
And another thing with us is that we have done several conferences like Meta Cartel, Demo Day, NFT New York City, and we built a redeemer. So at the door, we can actually like check if the person is the ticket owner, and then we can redeem the tickets as well. And I'm not sure if test this.
Yep. We also have an embed script where if you're not a developer, you can actually embed the NFTs in your own website. So you can see, you can buy the tickets directly from here. Another big thing, so we just launched DAppCon. So if we go into tickets and we go to crypto, you can see you can buy the ticket directly within here. It looks, and you can buy it directly on mobile as well. But the big thing that you guys are going to see that we haven't shown anyone really yet. So let's go ahead and log in. So now I'm going on my local machine. This is not live, what you're about to see. So I really feel like this is going to be that moment where we can see a lot of adoption happening. If I come into my stores, so basically what we have, so if we go into my profile, I own an NFT, and the NFT says I'm allowed to connect with Stripe. So we're rolling out a beta where it allows our minters to actually accept Stripe payments. And the process that they're doing this is identical to how Uber and Lyft drivers get onboarded. There's a heavy know your customer process for the minters, but the purchasing process is the same as buying a concert ticket. But to show you that process, so you can see all of these are my own individually deployed smart contracts. As soon as I enable fiat, that means anyone who buys your token is required to put in their email and have an ETH address. And so to see how that works, so let's see our DevCon Dapp. Boom, boom, boom. So if I go into DappCon, we find our ticket. So now that this one's enabled for fiat, we have this credit or debit. If I click, you can see I already have my ETH address is already connected. My email has already been verified, and I can just go ahead and purchase that. But what happens if I'm a user who doesn't understand crypto and has nothing, who doesn't understand, lands on a page, right? So I just logged out. Now I'm a user who's not connected. I just got this on Twitter or something. I see credit and debit. Well, now we get these options. You can connect with whatever wallet you want, same process as before, Fortmatic. What if I have no idea what any of these even mean? I can use Create Wallet. So what we do is we use Fortmatic, very much a Web 2.0 way, where we go.
Yep.
And as soon as we do this, let's see, I can verify my email.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just going. Yeah.
Yep. So then now I come in here, put in my card, 42424242. So now what we did, we just bought it with a credit card. And now we've moved it and did the transfer. We can see it on Etherscan. We can see the NFT in the dashboard. And I just got a email that says, cool, thanks for your purchase. Nice buy. Here's your ticket. Here's the price. Yep.
And they have a wallet as well.
Yep. And now I've been onboarded with a wallet.
Without noticing, we need this is launching next week, so we will make it easier for non-crypto people. If you don't have crypto, create a wallet. So, but it's basically the process, and we are also planning to roll this out with festivals, like music festivals, not only blockchain conferences, but music festivals as well.
Yep. And so you can see my wallet is still connected, and now I'm connected to Fortmatic through that process. And if I want to go around and maybe now I'm connected to my Fortmatic account versus the MetaMask, and now I can actually come in here and I can mint more if I want, and then that'll then open up my Fortmatic account.
But let's go back to creating NFT.
Yeah.
To the original workshop.
Yeah. So
Can I ask? Are you using in integration to the fiat payment, or did you develop that?
It's all directly with Stripe, so we're using only our own system. So a lot of these like Wire and that they have $100 limits, because it's a cryptocurrency on-ramp. Well, you're not buying with us. You're not buying cryptocurrency. You're buying a non-fungible token that is a representation of a non-security. So it's a ticket. It's a receipt. It's
So
whatever
you
you
don't swap,
make of
you
it.
just buy it
Yeah.
with euro
Right.
or
So so if I organize an event and I offer this to my clients and then they make the payment via Stripe, I need to have the Stripe account, okay, and they would charge like a 3%, okay, onto the merchant, right? Okay.
Yep, 2.9%, 1% additional for foreign transactions, 30 cents per transaction, and we take a 3% fee on top of that. With crypto, it's just a 3% fee, none of the stripes. So you get two alternative options. You can buy with ETH, which gets rid of all that, or you can buy with fiat.
which is a little bit more.
Got it.
And so what's really fascinating is all of this stuff that we're doing right now, all of that token data is managed on the graph. So all of the information, you get every single one of these different bits of queries. So let's say NFT NYC, they create and deploy their own smart contract. Now you have this open API that anybody can hit. So, and it all comes from directly here. Why that's fascinating is we did the Dragon Quest hackathon. And so where did Dragon Quest go? Telegram. Here we go. So within 4 days, with the Meta cartel, someone was able to actually come in here and build a voting app that if I connect my wallet and I'm actually the owner of the token, so I have MetaMask, you can see I have 1 token and 2 boosts remaining. So we have quadratic voting built into our system. Wow. Really neat because it just basically says, okay, all of the information, who's the owner of what token, can all be hit, and it's all stored on IPFS. And all of the code that builds those graphs are open source from us. So it's a pretty neat dev environment. And the last piece is, so we just created this smart contract. If I go to my market that we created, so we just deployed this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I come in here, we can actually go to our smart contract. We have 1 holder, 9 transfers, which is the creation, and 9 ETTs. We can read the contract. All of this has been verified. So all of these beautiful functions that you get with a Open Zeppelin deployed contract is open to you. Whether they're mentors, you can add mentors, you can write to the contract directly. So any programmer can basically do the whole transfer to, approve of function, and you can create your own companies off of this thing.
So yeah, and we also have a redeemer. So if you're organizing an event, you can use that as well. Everyone can use that.
Yeah, I can fire up the redeemer. It's been a while since I've used it.
You guys want to see it?
Tom, when you say a redeemer, what is a redeemer?
So when you, for example, imagine Eventbrite or Ticketmaster, and I'm going to a concert and I show my ticket, and they usually have a scanner, right? So they scan the ticket. So that is our redeemer. It's like how we check in people at the venue.
Okay.
And we can do that online too, like virtual. Yeah.
So let's see if this is really a dialed in demo. We're going full live demo here.
Yeah, we didn't plan the redeemer to show you this, but I think it's interesting as well. So
let's see what happens if I go into.
No safety net, Nate.
What's that?
No safety net.
No.
Yeah,
just
no
go
safety
for
net.
it.
Yeah, we are risk takers. So
1, 3.
we're gonna share our phone, screen share our phone, and then so the phone is basically, I'm going to a festival, so I have a ticket on my phone. The right side is the festival. So the festival checks if you really are the owner of the ticket, if you really own it. So the current system, how it is with Eventbrite or Ticketmaster, basically they just send a QR code, like an email with a QR code, and you can send that to anyone, right? It doesn't it's not really very safe. Same with airlines. You get like a QR code, but I could be a different person, just check in.
So our biggest point is any Joe Schmo can create their own Eventbrite app, force people to download their Eventbrite app and do a check-in process using only their app. The super tricky part is allowing any user to use whatever wallet they want, Coinbase wallet, Argent, Gnosis Safe, whatever, and then check in people through that process. And that's what we've really focused on. So if I have my asset here on Coinbase wallet, I hope this is on the Rinkaby. Yes, it is. Okay, so if I have my asset, it's over here, DevCon 6. DAppCon ticket. I hope that's the right actual. It's DevCon DApp.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We see. Maybe.
It's one of these. So if I go here and I hit Coinbase, so this is going to pop up my scan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my little scanner. So obviously I can't just take a picture and I can't just show you my collectibles because that's not very secure to take a screenshot. But what I can do Coinbase wallet has been acting a little weird lately.
So what you're saying is that instead of actually showing your ticket, you just do the scan. You scan the QR code.
Yes, and then it sucks the tickets out and it connects to my wallet. So as soon as
I think you're on the wrong contract, probably.
Have they announced where DEFCON 6 is going to be already?
No.
No, they have not announced it yet.
So I think this might be the wrong wallet.
Yeah, I think so too. So we have so many like test accounts, so we are like trying to find the right test account to show you the redeemer. So yeah, because I think it's really interesting, the process.
Just for fun.
Is there also another reason why you call it a redeemer? Is it because you can use the same function to redeem stuff during the event?
Yep.
So it can be, I don't know, food vouchers, or maybe you have some swag at the event, like a jumper or something. So you can redeem tickets, but also other things. And there was a CoinDesk article written on us like last week. And there was a guy, you probably know him, he's called DeFi Dad. He works at Consensus. And so he had the idea to like support restaurants by using our redeemer and redeeming food vouchers. So that was his idea. So you can use it not only for tickets, but also for food and for like other things.
So, all right, so here we go. We're going to try, I think it's this one on a different network. So we have DevCon. If I go into my redeemer, and then I go into Coinbase. Let's go.
Can you make this a little bit?
Yeah.
So let's try again if we are on the right contract. So basically you hit the scanner, you scan Coinbase.
There we go.
There we go. Woo.
So now we've connected the wallet. So this guy's the person checking in. This person has these tokens. So we haven't done anything yet. We just basically connected. So think of this as like the complete reverse way of doing checking in right now. So what we do now is we send people a unique QR code, and then we hope someone didn't compromise it and take that unique QR code and steal it. And then we check them in that way. With us, it's you check in with this QR, where you're actually just doing a single QR code. The only thing someone can hack and do is basically check in from anywhere around the world. So does that make sense? So instead of you getting a unique ID, you're just holding your asset. The QR code that we're scanning here is you're just connecting to the system. So big difference. So now we haven't checked in yet. You can see all of these are locked. We haven't redeemed any of these tokens yet. So what I'm going to do is, you can see it's still locked. We have one checked in. If I hit redeem, so now I'm being requested a signature. So the user checking into the event says, okay, I need to sign the request, and we do facial recognition to make sure that that works well. So it's now been unchecked. We've checked our user in. Go on, have a good time. So big difference. Probably far more secure than any airport security can deal with.
So we
So
like
basically, the user was scanning the QR code initially.
They're using a Wallet Connect or Coinbase Link.
Cool.
So it's the same way that some people have issues with security, saying, "Oh, I don't want random people connecting to my wallet." And I talked with Pedro about this, who created Wallet Connect, and we both have the same opinion of that's what we're doing every day. We're requesting that someone connects with our DApp. They then trust us. They say yes, and then they basically they sign all the requests that make sense to them. So we're saying, do you want to be checked into the system? And then the user checks it. You cannot on the DApp actually do any transactions unless they agree to them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So all we want to know is, do you hold the asset? Has the asset been checked in before? Are you the owner of that wallet, the true owner of the wallet? Then we're good. None of this here, sign a signature or show me an image ID. Like this is different level. And now we're opening up a whole different world where we can sell these assets on OpenSea. And so secondary markets, you can truly say, yeah, this is an asset that exists that's from this smart contract that cannot have been duplicated. So it's going to get weird.
Speaking of the secondary market of OpenSea, do you know if they have a function that I can say I bought this concert ticket and I want to get rid of it because I can't attend? Can I then basically post it and say if anybody transfers 25 DAI, you will automatically get the ticket? It's because usually it's quite annoying to deal like concert tickets in the secondary market because you first of all don't know do we first send the ticket, do we first send the money, and that way basically offering if anybody pays it, I will give it to you. You know what I mean?
yeah. Hi, Leon. Yeah. So secondary market is like a big problem for the ticketing industry, but luckily with blockchain, you can control this in a very uncontrolled environment. So we have some conferences that want us to turn off the transfer off function so that you can not at all transfer the ticket from one wallet to another. We don't like that.
We'll be doing so within our graph. You can we make it really easy so we're not going to be the ones building all the redeemers. You could build your own redeemer. That's the beauty of what we're building. We're just kind of showing off. Here's a way that you can do it, but you can easily so what we're doing to explain how we're doing the check-in process for people who have no idea what blockchain is and probably don't even know what Formatic was. They bought it on that system. If we send them an email and we can check them in the old way. Basically, you get a unique QR code. Anything you do with Web 2.0, we can do with Web 1. But we can check to see if they've transferred it after the fact. And we could say this email process is no longer a valid way to check in if you've transferred it to somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we're also looking at a secondary market split. So for example, whenever someone resells the ticket on secondary markets, I don't know, 10%, 20% goes back to the conference promoter. We get a little bit. So it's really beautiful what we can do with all the verified smart contracts. And also we can add multiple minters, meaning that as soon as the ticket is bought, it gets split amongst different people. Just imagine your festival and you don't have any money to set up the festival. And you can say, okay, the landlord will get 5% of every ticket sold, the caterer will get 10%. So you can incentivize differently and set up different events, not only events, but it's just, you can do so much with that. Yeah.
And so based on that, I mean, what's something is fascinating about NFTs is that it's really an empty shell. So as you said, that it's infinite possibilities. And you mentioned a few already, but I was wondering if you've heard like other crazy ideas. You mentioned music as well. I would love to hear more about
I
use
wanted
cases.
to I wanted to ask about music. Can
Well,
I?
I did first ask for music.
Yeah, but I have some technical questions about
Okay,
music.
fine.
Yeah, we actually last night we were having a DAO Records party in our crypto voxels in
At
about
10.
an hour. And we're gonna by Tuesday. I promise to have a new. So you saw those things you can put into the Minter. You can put in your YouTube video, all these things. The next one is going to be music, where the owner of the asset can actually download the raw MP3s. So I think that's kind of neat. Like, can you imagine tickets
Wow.
where
It's
you
such
can
a
be?
small world.
Yeah.
Vanda is performing tonight, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
In case of music, you will basically create an NFT that basically unlocks a link for download. So the file is stored somewhere else. It's not stored directly on Mintbase.
no, yes, it will be stored in our system initially. We're planning on moving everything to IPFS quite soon, but yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we notify you, Matteo, once it's ready, like by next week, and then you can tokenize your music as well. Because I know, like, you played some music at the last virtual conference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm working on an environment to kind of create.
Oh, I think the sound went off.
Sorry, my fault.
No.
Yeah.
No, I was saying I'm basically working on an environment to empower the secondary market for music, which is basically royalties, equities, and curational efforts from the fan base. So I'm really interested in seeing what you can do with that, because we have already, like, something that we've done already is we are creating a demo where NFTs can interact with 777 ERC 777 in order to kind of be whitelisted. So you have basically a whitelist of contributors to the music file, which is basically the top contributors and curators within a given NFT, which is music in this case. So I would really like to know what you come up with, so we can maybe integrate.
Definitely. I think even going back to tickets and mushing the two together, why do we have to scan stuff to get into a conference? Why can't the music promoters just upload a song, and then if you're the holder, then basically you just have to play the song to get into the conference? Yes, this is a unique song that was created just now. That's the new entry process. Yeah.
Okay, do we have some more questions from the audience? Or I was curious to know a little bit more about the quadratic voting that you set up for the Dragon Quest. Do you actually, you don't take care of the voicings as well? Like that's responsibility of the Dragon Quest. So you just allow the proof of vote somehow. So the entitlement to vote because someone's a token holder, but the voicing is up to
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So the voting mechanism wasn't built by us. It was a Dragon Quest submission. It was a bounty that won our
Coda Dan is
Coder
his name on
Dan.
Twitter.
Yeah, so he was able to basically hit our graph, figure out who's the owner of any of the tokens that were on the DAppCon smart contract. And then in order to actually do the voting, you just do a quick signature that says, yes, I am the owner of this wallet. And then that gives you three tokens in a very Web 2.0 kind of way. So the whole auth to access it is done through tokens. The actual 3 votes are not done through blockchain. So baby steps. We can see our goal is to just slowly use these tokens and start taking over that world
and make them useful. Like it should not just a collectible. It should unlock like different things in different worlds.
Yep.
So I have 2 questions. Okay. The first one, but before that, I just want to say thank you so much. Okay, it's like really, really great stuff that you guys are doing. The first question, okay, is that because this is quite very new to me as well, I'm seeing this and my mind is like blown. Okay, I'm excited to use it. Okay, if I have questions, like where does the conversation happen? Okay, what communication channels, okay, are you guys most active in?
So definitely go to mintbase.io and you'll see all of our social links there. But specifically, so Telegram is our perfect, like, hey, I have a great idea. Let's do X, Y, and Z, or sharing the markets or whatever. Discord is like something broke. How do I figure this out? So Discord is our, yeah.
All right. So Telegram is where the conversation happens. All right. So
Exactly.
the second question, okay, is really about for you guys. So where you guys have this amazing product right now, where do you guys hope, okay, you guys will be in the next like what 6 months or whatnot? What do you hope, what does success look like?
So we kicked off we actually flew. Usually we're in Berlin. We flew and kicked off NFT NYC and did the whole Redeemer and got that working. And we kicked off our fundraise literally on the exact same day that all of San Francisco shut down. So the day we stepped our feet into San Francisco is when the coronavirus really started sinking its teeth into the U.S. So we calmed that down and we focused on the fiat integration, which is what we just showed you. We'll be launching that with DAppCon next week, the earliest, the week after the latest. And once we get that, we'll probably re-kick the raise. It's just us two. Every bit of code you've seen, nothing's been outsourced. No designs have been outsourced. We've never paid for marketing. It's just us 2 humans building this. And
so where do we see ourselves in 6 months from now? So initially, like our focus is like conferences and also festivals and virtual conferences, and also ticketing, art. But now, like with the coronavirus and stuff, we are shifting a little bit more towards like virtual conferences or like those kind of things. But we will see. I mean, we're super flexible, and wherever our users want us the most, we're gonna go.
Literally, once we get fiat integrated, we can go 100 directions, like stock photography, stock sounds. I mean, it's
music,
I'm
like,
pretty, co-working memberships. It's gonna get fun.
But is 6% okay? Something which people are okay to pay with, in your experience?
Eventbrite. So I used to work in ticketing, and it's like more than 6%. Usually, like ticketing providers like Eventbrite, and then you add like the credit card on top. It's like 10 to 15% on average. But you don't see it as a customer when you buy it because you only see like, I don't know, the end amount. But usually it's like, so it's,
yes, the organizer feels it.
It's actually cheaper than going through Eventbrite or something. Also, like when you go through providers like Festticket, where I used to work, they take a top of that. They take a percentage as well. So it's definitely cheaper. But we also want to incentivize people to like get into crypto. So they have like 2 options, right? They can pay with a credit card, or they can get into ETH and then just like buy it cheaper. So that's also an incentive.
Okay, thank you so much.
And what I have a question for you. So you said you're organizing some virtual conferences as well. I would like to hear more about that maybe later on Telegram or something. Yeah.
Let me ask you this outright, very outright. Like I'm not a technical anyway, but could I, in theory, like take your smart contracts that you developed and use them without the fee? Or like is the fee only implied by using your user interface? Or is it sort of linked to the smart contracts?
Okay, so yeah, so
do you get the question?
Yeah, I get the question. So we always take a percentage. However, if you want to give away like tickets or tokens and you want to airdrop them and you don't sell them, then we don't take anything.
If you mint your tokens on our system and sell them on OpenSea, we don't take anything. If you want to create your own escrow service, then you can also do that as well. It's
Okay.
It's just an open, verified smart contract. So I think our secret sauce is the interface, which is how we're grabbing all the stores are starting to come in. So that's our only closed source. We're going to be creating as many open source products as we can, including our embed minter, which we didn't show. We just deployed an NPM module that allows people to embed their contracts. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have a Gitcoin grant?
We did. We got I think $200. That was a big one.
200.
Because I mean, you're really building a public good. So
yeah, we are making a killing right now. I think one of our artists was complaining about how he only made $500 in a day. And we're like, I think we've collected about that much in 7 months in fees. But we're
but our focus right now is really to like user adoption. We really want as many people as possible to feel comfortable with NFTs. Once that is like set up, then we can obviously like increase a little bit, like that we can make a living of that.
Yep.
We have like 550 stores that have been created, and that makes about 11,000 customers in total that interacted with the page.
547.
In terms of user,
Can I ask you?
sorry, Fanny.
Go ahead.
In terms of user adoption, have you guys been in touch with Universal Login, this smart contract wallet by Alex van der Sande?
I've heard a lot about that. I remember him releasing it in it was DevCon 4 in Prague way back in the day. We haven't had any push from anyone who needed it. We now accept Fortmatic, Coin. What's that?
Yeah, I know, but they like made a lot of progress. You should check it out, unilogin.io. And what I really like, they basically give you the benefits that for example Argent has, like this social recovery. But on your side, it would just be a web plugin, so you just need like 10 lines of code and get all of these social recovery benefits. So like I would check it out. It's very like magic Ethereum onboarding for like non-crypto users, and they also have a that's paid, that's not free credit card integratable option. I mean, you could have like two ways, like Matic and that, but I would check it out. Unilogin.
I will check it out after this call.
Yeah, the big issue with using any kind of fiat on-ramp for a particular wallet is you're basically shutting out all the other wallets. So Fortmatic has a fiat on-ramp as well, but then we have to say, well, our MetaMask, our any wallet link or Coinbase wallet, then we have to build an entirely different system with how they pay for fiat. So the way that we're doing Stripe completely raw is, I think, the right answer. I'll dive into the universal login again.
Cool.
Have you noticed that Leon is on his boat, his yacht, floating above Berlin?
Yeah, are you in Berlin?
I love your couch. I love your couch, Leon.
Thank you. It's my friend. I signed refuge here.
Ah, nice. Wow, what a nice day, huh?
Yeah.
I had a little question on the royalties when you mentioned like going into OpenSea and music, actually. That's applicable there as well. So because right now on a lot of these like blockchain based crypto art platforms, for example, if you mint on super rare and then you end up selling somewhere else, like there's no portability of the contract, and so it's like for an artist you get stuck on one platform. And I know there've been a lot of artists who actually, the most technical ones, they've been shying from choosing one platform because they're not sure where they're gonna go, like if they're, it's very much like their branding and their like artworks that that they're sharing with the platform. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts about what you guys are doing, or maybe in the future if it's not currently something.
Yeah, maybe that's another standard we need to come up with somehow for all of us to say, well, if it was minted on this platform, then not only the minter, but the also the platform gets some sort of royalty no matter where it's sold. And that would be a pretty crazy graph. But I think right now none of us really know what we're doing. We also don't have a ton of employees, and even OpenSea doesn't have a ton of employees. And we're all building as fast as our little fingers can. So we get a lot of like artists saying, why doesn't it do this? Why? But at the end of the day, we're like, we're trying, man. This is hard stuff we're dealing with.
I mean, but there's two things. I think there's like, they're definitely like, you know, it's we're building a market, right? Like there's no like market. So there's things that like, yes, we'll figure out later. But in terms of like, my problem with that is like coming from the traditional art market, this was the marketing pitch of a lot of, not your platform, but a lot of other platforms saying like, oh, we'll get like, now it's possible, we'll get royalties to artists, and really it's not. So sorry, I have a bombing from a naked boy.
Someone is bombing.
What's different about us versus all of the ICO products is we didn't have a marketing pitch. We just created a thing, and then Peter looked at me and said, hey, I want to use that for tickets. And then we started using it for tickets. And then other people said, I want to use that for art. And then we started doing that. And then, so our marketing pitch is very natural. It's like, we're building.
It's a good one.
And what's
it's a good one to have,
yeah. And what's wild is like whatever we build for the artists works for events as well. So,
No, and this is how you're gonna test like what is the most useful for people and what they're gonna use most. I think this is this is great, and you have great art, great artists on your platform as well. So that's
yeah.
All right, cool.
Perfect.
So thank you.
We can wrap it up. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Carol.